I can.
I'll double check.
You sure?
Yeah,
All right.
we met on the same day. 3 years apart.
Okay.
But,
Were they friends?
so it was fun to have the same day. My parents were like, oh my gosh,
Okay.
I mean,
The only time my grandmother,
they were fine, but they weren't friends.
the only time my grandmothers ever spoke civilly was when my little sister was born because they finally got a granddaughter and they each shared a gallon of ice cream. That's the only time they spoke civilly.
So my dad's mom was very thin, and my mom's mom was very sweet, and we would have these like back and forth. It's like, I like it, like in different ways.
You gotta love it. So thank you everyone for being here. To all of you who are watching, I hope you stay dry and warm. I am told that this is one of those pop-up and go-away storms so that by the time we're done, the sun will be out again. And hopefully those areas that are flooded won't be. So, but it's great that we can be here to welcome Shabbat and to welcome our Bethel family with us. Y'all raise your hands and say hi because you're the contingent from Bethel, right? Right? So glad that you're with us. And we will be looking forward to spending time with y'all as well. Last week, we approached music as though we were looking towards the Declaration of Independence and the Revolution. We were looking at the society and the situations that we knew had to change and the things that we had to call attention to so that as we declare independence as a nation, we can continue to struggle for those freedoms. And then this week, of course, we celebrated the 4th of July and the fireworks and everything else. But most importantly, we transitioned from a nation that was becoming to a nation that is. And we're still in process. We've got a lot of work to do, and we ebb and we flow, and there are times that people feel more at home and less at home, and yet we know that there's no other country we would rather live in, and that as long as we do have the freedoms that are guaranteed by our Constitution and our tradition, that we have the opportunity every day to change the world and to make it more whole. So tonight we're going to add to our liturgical music celebrations of this country. And I'm going to first open by saying some of you asked me about the heart I'm wearing on my sleeve. A friend of mine prompted the idea, and I thought, you know, when we talk about what is sacred in our tradition and this religious tradition, but most importantly our relationships with each other, we really should be wearing our hearts on our sleeves. We should be able to be so empathetic with each other that we know how to take care of each other and what each other needs. And how many of you have walked by someone and said, "How are you?" and kept walking because it was the thing to say? Anybody? Okay, a couple of you are brave enough to admit that you've done it, okay? And we all do. And then there are people who ask us, and when we want to say something, we turn and they're gone. So I'm not asking that everyone wear this, but I am suggesting that each of us really ought to be a whole lot more concerned with the people with whom we interact and not just walk by them. Certainly in our house of worship, in our places of work, in the streets, the communities, and in every place where our lives intersect. And so with that, we are going to celebrate America, and we ask that you stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
And we'll continue asking God to bless this country, page 680 if you need the words.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And everyone but Shelley, please be seated. We'll continue with a candle lighting, our Kiddush, page 120. Have you got it? Pick one, either one.
Blessing first.
No, one of these first. Yeah.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Contrary to popular belief, Kiddush is not the prayer over the wine. Kiddush is the prayer sanctifying holidays, remembering creation, remembering the Exodus from Egypt. The Borei Pri Hagafen piece is the prayer over the wine, and we use it with Kiddush so that we can celebrate all of those things with sweetness. But if you don't have wine, you can say that second paragraph of Kiddush, after the Borei Pri Hagafen, over challah or over candles. But we're blessed because we have the sweetest of grape juice, minted just last week, okay? And so with that, we will sanctify this Shabbat, the holiday, and the opportunities to share blessings with each other.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon kinhilanu. Zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim,
בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת אמן.
These grapes were stomped by Lucille, right?
I don't think Lucille Ball stomped these grapes. Those would have been fermented already. We're going to continue as we call to worship, page 264. Please rise for Baruch Hu.
La 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 Baruch hu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, u'vitvuna meshoneh itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, umsader et kochavim, b'mishmerotehem v'rakia kirtzonai. B'roei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai tzavot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Page 267, we continue with Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 269, we continue responsibly. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Get that one. That's imperfect. Before our eyes, there's a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
Is evil enough to break the heart?
And there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come? Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha neder b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele Nora tehilot osefele Malchutecha ra'u vanecha Kol kiyam livnei Moshe Zelianu ve'amru Zelianu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha neder b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele Nora tehilot osefele
And on that note of freedom, we have this conundrum that we have bounced back and forth over the last year. Do we clap or do we not clap? So I need someone to make an official inquiry of our worship committee. So do we, at Mi Chamocha and such of these versions of that would lend themselves to clapping, do we officially clap or don't we? Because I have some people that really want to, and they're like this, you know. And then there's people who are, I don't know if I should or not. And I'm sure there's other people who say, not in our sanctuary. So, as with every Jewish situation, there's 1,000,002 answers, and the best rabbinic answer is it depends. Okay? So, Drew, you're in charge, okay? So, with that, though, we know that this is such, we are so blessed that that is one of the biggest problems we have to solve in this world. And I say that somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but, you know, you can walk outside of this building and you can see in our own streets the people who are in such need, for whom this flooding is inconvenient for us because we can't drive our cars through it, but there are places where people have been sleeping that no longer exist with any sense of security or dryness. And so, and I say this a lot when we get to Hashkivenu, it's this onomatopoeic prayer that reminds us that this shelter of shalom, the shelter of peace, is not something we say, okay, God, just make it happen. That if we don't do the work, God can't feed hungry people if we're not doing the work of bringing the food. God can't shelter people if we're not bringing the security into their lives. And so this is one of those moments that we can say it's in the prayer book specifically because we need to pay more attention and not just turn the page when we get done reading or singing it. That said, join me please at the bottom of 271. Let's read together. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Now we celebrate this day.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת בי נפש, שבת בי נפש, שבת בי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
So a moment of personal privilege, this being we're celebrating America, and the pastime sport of America is baseball. And it's my father-in-law's yahrzeit, who was everything baseball. I don't think there's a baseball trivia question you could ask Louis Bernard Jr. that he didn't know. So in the spirit of that, as we welcome ourselves into the Amidah, I saw a video that a friend sent me. And this little kid, maybe 8 or 9, is standing behind home plate, and he's got a batting helmet on, and he's got a ball in his hand, and he's got a bat, and he announces over the loudspeaker, "And now, the greatest baseball hitter of all time." And he throws the ball up, and he swings. Strike one. So he picks the ball up, and undaunted, "And now, the greatest baseball hitter of all time." And he throws the ball up, and he swings, and strike two. And he does it a third time in the same announcement that this is the greatest baseball hitter of all time, and strike three. And he looks at the ball on the ground, and undaunted, he says, "The most amazing pitcher in all of baseball." You know, perception is everything. And we get so caught up in how we remember the world or how we see it that we forget that there's all sorts of other opportunities to view the people we know and the way in which we see the world. And we get stuck absolutely in the perceptions of what was that we can't see what could be. And so, you know, every week, sometimes for those of us who will pray the liturgy every day, and sometimes 3 times a day, we will invoke the name of our ancestors, our biblical ancestors. On Sukkot, we will welcome them into our Sukkah, the Ushpizin, and we're going to remember there was Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Sarah, Rebecca, Leah and Rachel, as if, you know, their biblical story is all they were, without realizing that we all know these people. If you look at the stories, the pieces of the stories that we get in the Torah, these are the people we live with. They may be us on any given morning as we look in the mirror, the blessings and the challenges. And so remembering these ancestors isn't to put them on a pedestal, isn't to say, those were the greatest people of all time. Okay? It's to remember that they're us. And you know, Abraham puts his son on an altar and puts a knife to his throat, and somehow God still makes sure that we remember the greatness of Avraham Avinu. You know? And so how many of you have done something that heinous in your life? I hope none. Okay? But if Abraham can still be counted amongst the treasured ancestors, having done that, how much of a head start do each of us have when it comes to understanding our place in righteousness in this world and our place in the blessings that we share? So don't read these names and saying, oh, these are the biblical characters, and we move on. Think about how unique their lives were, how unique our lives are, and how those blessings and those challenges are who we are and who the people we love are. And somehow we get through it all, the blessings and the challenges. Prayer should be, how do I live more holistically with me and with the people with whom I share life? That's the purpose of the Amidah. So please rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Hasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai V'chayei hakol atah Rav L'Hoshia Mechakel Chayim B'chesed Mechayei hakol Berachamim Rabim Zomek Noflim V'rofei Cholim U'matir Asurim U'makayem emunato Lishenei afar Michamocha ba'el givurot U'mido melah Melech memit u'makayeh U'matzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mehayeh hakol.
Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yalalucha asela, baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We continue the greatest sense of thanksgiving we can offer is to do the work of paying those blessings forward. And when more of us are doing that, the world becomes more whole, more peaceful. Our tradition teaches us that we're always supposed to teach b'shem omro, in the name of our teachers. And so every time that we do something or teach something, we've got to remember that we didn't start it, and we got it from somewhere and somebody, and we give that credit. And when we can remember that these blessings are not about us, but for us to share, then someday we'll be able to celebrate the gift of peace. So we continue with Shalom Rav. We're on page 282, asking God to grant that gift to this world.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav רעב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
Take a few minutes privately to better appreciate the blessings that we take for granted and to think about how we best can share them.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
I made that executive decision for that piece. We're going to continue as with the Torah reading tonight. Drew Greenwald, who is our new executive director, has decided to also be a trendsetter. And in honor of his grandmother's yortzeit, he's reading Torah tonight. Hint, 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 hint. When you have a yortzeit, when you have a special moment, when you have somebody you want to remember, a close friend who's here who you want to honor, tell us. 3 verses of Torah, I can promise you, I can help anybody read Torah. In 5 weekends, I taught people how to read the Hebrew language. Yes, Simi? Right? Yep. So we can do this. But it's important that we remember it's not my Torah to read, it's our Torah, and it's our tradition. And so with that, I'm going to ask that you rise as we take the Torah from the Ark.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקידוש קדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגיבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני המלכה והמנשא לכל ראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו.
Please be seated, unless you would like to be called to Torah. Haven't been called in a while, would like to come up for an aliyah. Anybody who would like to come to Torah, please join us tonight up here. Don't be bashful. I don't have to single people out. Anybody else? Come on. Halacha is anybody, you can have an aliyah up to 50. Okay. We're going to be reading from middle of the Parsha, Pinchas, chapter 27. Drew's going to read the first 3 verses. If you're looking at the Plout commentary, the Red Torah commentary, you will find the English and the Hebrew on page 1203. Okay. Where did you? Oh, you're there. Okay, good. I've got it in big print if you guys want. You want big print?
Oh, wow, we can do that.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
ותקרבנה בנות זלפד, בן הפר, בן קילד, בן מכיר, בן מנשה, להשמחות מנשה, בן יוסף. ואלה שמות בנותיו מהלה, נועה והגילה, הגלה ומילכה ותרצה. ותעמודנה לפני משה ולפני אלעזר הכהן ולפני הנשים וכל העדה. בתוך Ohel Moed Lemor. Avinu met Midbar Vehu Lo Adonai Lo Haya Betoch Ha'edah Hanisim Hanoatim Al Adonai Bayidad Korach Ki Benchato Mate the Uvanim Lo the Hayu.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'hayei olam natan b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Please rise.
Imhi amanazikima vetomecha meushar nerachecha darnoam v'kol netivotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadish Chadish Yameinu Chadish Yameinu kekedem.
So with, in memory of those who have gone, but in celebration of the lives that are, and the hope and prayer that those who are in need of restoration and health will be able to return to their daily lives in front of the open ark, we remember those who are suffering from war and from the weather. We remember those in our hearts now who are ill, who are broken, who are in need of our prayers and our strength and our efforts for restoration. Close to home, we're thinking of Ed Beck and Nechama Chai, Lois Gallowitz, Gary Grobman, Honey Kibler, Cantor Judith Avadia, Dorothy Parent, Gary Rosenstock, and Nathan Snyder. And if there's other people that we're holding, please share their names.
Barbara Becker.
We're all holding people. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. We ask God to make us instruments of healing.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Great job. Stay up here because you're going to draw. Yes, they are. Okay. Please feel free to be seated. We've got to thank Nick for the organ and for the fixing the doors, because a couple weeks ago at our mitzvah, the doors were not working, and we thought we were going to have to do something drastic. You fixed them. Why? No, but thanks. And so with that, tonight, another opportunity. We all have things that we need to share, things that are sacred in our lives, and this is not my pulpit, it's ours. And so I'm inviting Drew again in honor of his grandmother's yahrzeit to share some thoughts, especially with this week's Parsha, but would love for anyone that would like to offer sermon, teaching, thoughts, whatever you'd like to call it, to let me know, because we'd love to share. So,
Shabbat Shalom. Yoy, I learned 3 things this week while studying for this Aliyah I'd like to share with you all. 1, never agree to read Torah on a Shabbat following a long holiday weekend, because when Wednesday rolls around, you realize you have 2 days left to get ready. And as you can tell, I started strong and faded fast. But if you happen to agree, do it with a rabbi like Mark, who's fun, easygoing, willing to talk you through a panic attack on Wednesday when you say you're not ready to do it. It was a joy being able to study with you. Thank you. And 3, do it in honor of someone you love. Tonight, for me, that's my grandma, Maisie. My grandma's yahrzeit we're observing it this weekend. So I'd like to share a few thoughts about my grandmother, especially as it relates to Pinchas, the Torah portion I just read from, and we'll go from there. So please bear with me as I ramble a little bit about my grandma Maisie. So my grandma Maisie was born in 1906 in what was then the Russian Empire. It's now Ukraine. And she was a redhead, and she was the first daughter of my great-grandfather and his first wife. She, 2 years later, was blessed with my Aunt Pearl as her second child. And these 2 girls said goodbye to their father. My great-grandfather came to the United States shortly before the influenza pandemic in the late 19-teens. Tragically, her mother passed away during that pandemic, and she was left at the age of, so it would have been around 12, 14, without a mother or a father, and left with the task of making it from the Ukraine to America. Her father had sent money to send for her and her sister, and I actually have this, if you're ever very interested in minute Greenwald family history, I have this whole oral history that she did with my late aunt that detailed her escape from the Bolsheviks, her travels throughout Europe, and her journey to America. When she got here with Aunt Pearl and saw my great-grandfather, he found out for the first time that his wife had passed away. It was just the girls that arrived in New York City. And he had come to a little place where I'm from called Warren, Pennsylvania, and started a scrap metal business. The family name Siegel, it was Siegelovsky, so it was Siegel and Son was the family business. So they moved to Warren, this little red-headed Jewish girl from the Ukraine in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. And wore her Judaism proudly. She was a sisterhood president, or my sisterhood president. She poured her life and soul into her shul and into her family. There's this great story. My grandfather was also in the scrap metal business. These were rough men doing rough work. But her house was pristine and kosher. And when you walked through the door, you washed your hands, you changed your shoes. And that was just sort of the life that she was able to live here. And there's one interesting story that I'm going to share. So if you still have your red books open on 1203, I'm just going to read 3 verses that I read. So at the bottom of 1203, it's verse 1 through 6. So the daughters of Zelophehad, Masonite family, all these names, and the daughters come forward. They stood before Moses, Eleazar, the priests, the chieftains, the whole assembly at the tent of meeting, and they said, "Our father died in the wilderness. He was not one of the faction," remember Korach's faction from a few weeks ago, who rebelled, which banded together against the Lord. But he died for his own sin, and he's been left no sons. Let not our father's name be lost to his clan just because he had no son. Give us a holding among our father's kinsmen." Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord said to Moses, "The plea of Zelophehad's daughters is just. Give them a hereditary holding among their father's kinsmen. Transfer their father's share to them." Here are these women in the Torah standing up to be counted, demanding their fair share. And so when my great-grandmother passed away, there were no sons during the Shloshlim period to say Kaddish when she passed. So my grandmother, at the age of 12, 13, went to an Orthodox synagogue each day and said Kaddish because there were no men to do it. And that's just sort of the personality she had. And this Torah portion just tied so well into the spirit and her ruach and what she stood for. So I stand in her shadow. We all stand in the shadow of our ancestors. And as I was talking with Mark about sort of, the themes that we were doing in these past two Shabbat about America and what it is, what it could be, and what we're celebrating tonight, I was thinking, where else is there but America that a story like this could have happened, that a girl from the Ukraine, a Jewish girl, could have escaped, lived her life proudly as she chose to live it, raise her family in the tradition of our ancestors, and live as a free and proud Jew. So may we be strengthened by her example, and I just, again, want to thank Mark for being so generous, and the congregation for being so generous for letting me read and share with you tonight. And I wish you all a very Shabbat Shalom.
Somewhere I've got a purple.
Is it under here?
So we will continue with Elena Drew. Thank you for that, and especially with what's happening in society, to remember strength is about the human, not just about one part of the human, I think is incredible. Elena's on page 586. We rise, please.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינה רוזו בגופים מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have left their earthly course this week and years past. We can't touch their hands, but their hearts, their legacies never leave us, and as long as we continue to teach their lives and the messages that they've left to us, they continue to grow in life. And so this week we recall Yortzites, first from Bethel, Benjamin Abrams, Ida Begelfer, Harry Braveman, David S. Budnick, Joseph Butler, William Capon, Rebecca Confino, Joseph Copland, Dorothea Dress, Robert Evans, Mary Hess Veit, Selma L. Finkelstein, Robert H. Foreman, Harry Friedenberg, Thias Garanzik, Caroline Green, Mildred Heller, Sarah Itzkowitz, Joseph Lenner, Louis Lever, Samuel Levinson, Marjorie Zeman Nelson, Lillian Oriel, Marvin Perlman, Rose Platkin, Rebecca Rashotka, Abraham Reamer, Eva Rothenberg, Herman Stein, Audrey Wasserman, Benjamin G. Weiss, and Yona Yodfat. And from our Ohev family, Mark R. Becker, Louis Bernard Jr., Rosalind Meritz Blum, Lee Braff, Avis Cooper, Albert Percy Dorans, Mildred Foreman, Marilyn Fox, Rose Goodman, Mazzy Greenwald, Alan Jacobs, Bessie Latt, Dorothy Brenner Macht, Jerome Newman, Mervyn Resnick, Florence Rindley, Martin S. Roberts, William B. Schleisner, Benjamin H. Schneiderman, Becky Schnitzer, Walter L. Stern, Sylvia Tolk, and Leslie Torreson. Are there other annual Yortzites being observed? Zichronam livracha, may the memories that they lead to us always bring us to blessing. Kaddish is on 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemecha ba, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon v'yom echon, uv'chayei decho beit Yisrael, b'agala v'izman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'tchomam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shemeda kudsha brichu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. We say together, amen. Please be seated. Do I have a volunteer to read announcements tonight? No volunteers. Dan, okay. Yeah. No, Francesca's coming up. I got them here for you. You don't have to make them up. All right. Thank you.
So it's start from here?
Yeah.
Everything.
Or as many as you want to.
Oh, okay. So, virtual Torah study is Saturday, July 8th at 9. When Bible thumpers forget the Bible, Zelophehad Daughters and Women's Right, the Zoom link for the virtual Torah study. Then there are the meet and greets with Drew Greenwald, whose speech we just enjoyed. July 24th in Hershey, and it is hosted by Patty and Bob Hivner. On July 27 in Carlisle, and this is hosted by Kim and Les Beaumont. On July 30 in Harrisburg, it's hosted by Shelley and Ted Adler. So on July 28th and 29, Pride Shabbat. Join us and our friends at Beth El as we celebrate the LGBT plus community with a special Shabbat celebration. Sunday, August 27, 2023, Temple Ohev Shalom Summer Picnic. It will be from 12 o'clock to 2:30 at Fort Hunters East Pavilion. Then there is a Temple Ohev Shalom book club that meets one Sunday each month at 11 a.m. at the Old Ballroom. Toss Tuesday at Elementary Coffee. We gather at Elementary Coffee, 256 North Street, Tuesday mornings at 9. There's no agenda, just having a good time together, coffee, bring friends. Announcement. as you already know, the Executive Director, Drew Greenwald, has started. So please welcome him or enjoy the meet and greets we mentioned before. On the week of July 24th, there will be a new weekly email format. So we will receive a communication from Temple Ohev Shalom with important days to remember and announcements on Tuesday and Rabbi Mark Shabbat message on Thursdays. This format has been created on the basis of the feedback received. Great news, Jewish Motorcyclist Club forming under the umbrella of Jewish Motorcyclist Alliance. If you're interested in joining, please reach out to David Feldman.
Dave, wave your hand.
Where is he?
Right there.
Ah, there. Okay. So, and on the flyer, you will find his phone number and his email. Are you interested in participating in weekly Friday night Shabbat services or Saturday B'nai Mitzvah services? We are looking for volunteers to usher, light the candles, and someone to read announcements. Again, contact Dan Green for more information. Also, you can show up before services and let the rabbi know that you want to participate.
Or get voluntold somewhere during the service.
Ah, yeah. The temple gift shop is currently open only by appointment. Contact Miriam Robinson for that. Registration for religious school for fall 2023 has begun. Please contact Sally Jo Bronner with any question. We are invited this Shabbat morning to services with our friends at Beth El at 10 a.m. Saturday, followed by one of the best kiddush lunches in central Pennsylvania. Bring friends.
Yeah, that's it. Thank
That's
you.
all.
Thank you. There's a lot happening. It's incredible. We're blessed. Do I have a challah? I do have. So, also, some of you have seen the flyers. We're going to be announcing probably late next week the meeting for the trip to Israel. It's complicated. When I lead a trip, we see everything you'll have. You certainly see sites. There was not a lot of time for shopping, but you'll meet the people who are making the news, and you'll get to hear from their mouths why the situation is so complicated over there and how we oversimplify it. Last announcement, Reverend Harris, it's great to have you. Earl Harris and I we've become sort of joined at the hip, causing trouble in this area, trying to rethink how we live in Harrisburg, and it's a blessing that you're here with us tonight, my friend. So with that, we are going to close with America. America, it's on page 681, and then Motzi, and we will wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Verses 1, 3, and 4.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thy thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
So much for help. He's getting his brother. Okay. May we move from strength to strength. May the blessings that we share here today inure to the benefit of everybody. May we remember to celebrate every moment being joyful. What? Atlas in the making, right? Yeah, he's about to lead us, yeah. So we're going to do Motzi, and so, Asher, you ready? I'm going to give you the microphone. Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amen.
Te'avon, everybody. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Te'avon.
Sarah Conrad, thank you. Scott, thank you.